Hey guys, it's Julie. Welcome back to my channel. So, I don't know if you guys have been watching the news. Probably. It's probably all you've been doing. But I am going to go on a grocery run because I've heard that things might get hectic where we live and I want to be as prepared as possible. So we're going to go to the grocery store and I'm going to get a few things because I don't really know what to anticipate, and people are crazy right now. I got some news that it's possible that we might be going on a 14-day quarantine in our homes, or we can't leave except for essential travel, which is kind of scary. I mean, luckily I get to work from home for my district, so it's really not that big a deal for work. But, and we went to the grocery store, so we have some food, but just the thought of potentially not being able to go anywhere or do anything, it's a little scary. So I'm gonna go to the grocery store today and I'm gonna pick up some just like last minute stuff. But I thought I would talk to you guys a little bit about what's going on. So surely you've heard about the coronavirus and COVID-19 stuff. I don't follow the news because I find it to be really, really depressing. And most of the time when you get the news, it's just panic and chaos, and it's just not a place that I like to be in. It's not a mental place I enjoy being in. If anything, it just makes me more stressed out. So I avoid it like the plague. But one thing that everybody I know has been telling me is that, you know, it's a global pandemic and they are all very scared and they don't know what to do. Some of them have little children, some of them have chronic illnesses. I mean, like my best friend, she's got a chronic illness. She lives with her elderly, well, she's not elderly, but she lives with her mom who's in her 60s. And, you know, she's in that both of them are in that right box of this illness really affecting them potentially on a deadly level. So she's very understandably upset and concerned. So I've only heard bits and pieces of what's going on, and everybody I've talked to has been like super, super upset and just scared. So I've decided that I'm going to go with the route of being the inspiration for other people. I know that seems ambitious and maybe a little nuts, but all I can think is that, I mean, if we're all panicked and we're all scared, nobody's going to be able to show us how we should be acting, what we should be doing. And my biggest thing, and this may sound nuts, and you don't have to agree with it, that's fine, is I'm looking at everything that's happening in the world as an opportunity, as a positive thing, which means you may be like, this woman's nuts. But think about it. We're able to spend more time with our family and friends. We're able to be more self-reliant. It's giving us an opportunity to put in place measures that can make us self-sustainable, which is something like gardening, owning some sort of livestock or animals that can feed you, even stuff like fish, you know, and chickens and that kind of stuff, you know, to where we kind of get back to our roots and how our grandparents and great-grandparents used to live, and how they grew and raised all of their own food, and they didn't rely as much on other people because it's convenient. And I'm not saying that I'll ever get to the point where I'm 100% not going to the grocery store, because there's so many things that you need at the grocery store that you can't grow or raise on your own property, especially me, where I live in the city. Like, unless I get a dairy cow that's had a baby and is in milk, or get goats that have had babies and are in milk, I'm gonna have to go to the grocery store for milk and cheese and yogurt and butter and all that kind of stuff, because I don't have the capability of taking care of it on my own property. One thing that I'm moving forward to is having eggs on my property. So I have 13 chickens that I'm raising right now. I believe all of them are hens. I might end up with one rooster, I'm not 100% sure. But I'm going to have eggs on my property, to where that will cut that portion of my grocery bill down a lot. And I'm going to be putting in a garden this year, a pretty big one actually, which is a little scary because I've only ever done gardens in pots. So, and they've all done okay. Some of the products that I've put in pots, like peppers and tomatoes, I think they got a disease and they died, which was really sad. But I think that's my goal this year. I mean, I'm going to have, this is one thing that you all should think about. Unless you're in a little tiny apartment or, I don't know, like extreme circumstances, as long as you have an area for pots or an area to dig in the ground, like, you should really, really think about putting in a garden. Even if it's just to grow 1 or 2 products that you buy at the grocery store to reduce your grocery bill. That's my plan. I'm going to be putting in a salsa garden because we eat a lot of chips and salsa. We eat a lot of Mexican food, so that makes sense. And I'm going to be putting in a garden that has basic vegetables like potatoes and carrots and that kind of stuff. And then I'm also going to be planting flowers because I think your garden should not only be functioning, but it should also be beautiful. And I'm going to be growing herbs and certain types of plants that can help feed my chickens to where it'll reduce the bill of the feed that we have to feed our chickens, which in itself will help a lot of things. We'll use the manure from the chickens to make the garden grow better. I mean, it's all going to kind of work and it's together. So that's my plan. And I know that it's really hard right now for people to look at this as a positive thing, but it really is. It definitely gives you an opportunity to get your priorities back in order and to really think about what's the most important thing to you right now. The most important thing to me right now is family and is health, because without those 2 things, what's the point? I mean, if you have nobody that you care about that you're going to spend time with, I mean, imagine if this is like the apocalypse. I'm not saying it is, before anybody freaks out. It's not the apocalypse, but imagine if it was. Out of all the people that you've known in your life that you talk to, who would you want to spend the rest of your time with? Is it family? Is it friends? If you had a capability of never having to leave your house again because you're able to feed your family and to keep yourself healthy, and you have the time to actually come up with hobbies and interests that can not only make you money, but make you feel fulfilled and make you joyful and give your life a purpose. Like, this is the opportunity to really reflect on a lot of things that have happened in your life, maybe even just stuff that's happened in the last year, and to start just making better decisions. And everybody teach their own. There's no right or wrong way to do anything. But one thing I will say, and my friend disagrees with me because she is obsessed with the news. Probably obsessed isn't even a harsh enough word. She is chronically obsessed with the news. Like, she just watches the news constantly. She talks about the news all the time. She talks about politics all the time. She's just obsessed with all of it. And that's great, because you're informed and you know what's going on. But there's a part of you that really needs to take a complete break. You need to take a break from your social platforms. You need to take a break from the media. You need to take a break from the news. All of it. And you need to just reflect on who you are, what's going to make you happy, how to live the best life that you can, and you only get on to stay informed about what's going on, not to become sucked into the rabbit hole that is the news, and you're just like a vicious cycle that you can't get out of, you can't break. So when you have this time off work, instead of using it to be productive, you're going to waste all your time by being stressed and being obsessed with the news. So just think about that, because it's definitely something that I've really been taking the time to contemplate. What's the most important thing to me right now? What's something that I can do to actually make my situation better? And how much of this do I actually have control of? Because if you look at just the news in general and how the virus is spreading and how people are dying and how people are getting sick and how it's just going all over the globe, there's so much with that you cannot do anything about. The only thing you can do is stay clean, wash your hands, and stay at home. That's it. So why not take control of your portion of what you can do and make it better for you? Just something to think about. I know that it's a very scary time right now, and a lot of people are genuinely scared. And there's a lot of fears I have, but it's not necessarily fears of getting sick or that kind of stuff. It's more fears of what might happen if you shut the city down for 2 weeks. How much violence is going to happen? How much crime? How many deaths are going to happen because people are fighting each other over food? I mean, that's an extreme circumstance, but that can happen. And you're going to have people who are arming themselves with weapons to protect their family because of people who, for whatever reason, whether it's financial struggles or otherwise, they can't be prepared. And So that's my goal today. This is like a weird, scared video. I'm not scared. I'm not upset. I am trying to be really positive. I'm trying to be really productive, and I'm going to do whatever I can to make my situation better for my family and myself. And so today I'm going to go to the grocery store. I'm going to get just like a list of the last few minute items that we need. Like I'm going to get some water just in case something happens and we're not able to use the water in our house, like it gets shut off or something, which may or may not happen, I don't know. Just some last minute frozen goods that are non-perishable, maybe some drink options in case we get really sick of water, or sick of, whatever it is that you guys have. Like, I know we have a little bit of pop here, we have stuff to make tea, and we have water, but every once in a while, like, you're just sick of all those and you want a Gatorade or lemonade or something. Like, you want something different. So we're gonna have a few more varieties of stuff to do, but my main goal while I'm off is to get stuff in place to where if something like this were to happen again, like, we're ready and we're as prepared as we possibly can be, and in a situation where global shutdown happens, which I'm not saying this is but this is what will happen or what has happened, but with the potential for global shutdown, the one thing that you really can do is just to be mentally strong. It's one thing I've been listening to a lot of YouTubers and a lot of influencers and the media a little bit and the news a little bit, and you just get bits and pieces of how everyone's feeling based upon how they talk, their tone of voice, their facial expressions, etc. And the one thing that a lot of YouTubers are doing right now is they're either talking about the virus, talking about how it's affecting them, using their YouTube channel as a video diary of what's going on, or you have the ones on the other side that are pretending like nothing's happening, and they each do one or the other for their own reasons. And I've decided to kind of go down the middle where we're going to talk about it because it is happening and it is affecting everyone. Like, it needs to be talked about, but at the same time, like, you need to be talking about it in a way that's not going to scare people, in a way that's going to give people ideas on how to actually do something with what they can, take control of the little bit of their life that they can be in control of. Like, okay, for instance, one of the best places to buy seeds, to start a garden, to grow flowers, herbs, you name it, is Dollar Tree. I know it sounds crazy, but they're $1 a packet, and I've even actually grown vegetables and stuff from Dollar Tree's packets at my own home, and they work. You can buy pots at Dollar Tree where they're not super big and they're not great quality, but they're $1. I mean, like, there's ways that you can stretch out your money to where it's not only something that is going to get your mind off of stuff, keep you busy, but it's also going to bear fruit and you're going to be able to eat the stuff that you're growing. So keep that in mind. You don't have to go to the grocery store or Lowe's or all those places and spend $4 for a packet of seeds to get your garden up and running. Like, all you need is somehow, like, whether a shovel or a hoe or something to be able to dig a hole in the ground, or dirt to put into a pot, and you need dollar seeds. Like, it's really, really that simple. So before you start going out and panicking and buying everything in sight and start hoarding toilet paper, why do people do that? Or formula, or diapers, or diaper wipes, like all these things that people need, like, let's not hoard them, okay? We all need to come together. We all need to be a community. But most importantly, you need to take care of your own family. And that means that you need to do it responsibly. So you not only need to make sure that you have enough products to keep them alive and healthy and happy, but you also need to plan ahead for the future. Like, what if it's a 2-week shutdown that turns into a month shutdown? Are you ready for that? Are you ready to be in your home for a month? Do you have enough food for that? Do you have enough laundry soap and whatever, like all the other stuff that comes with being healthy? You need to be able to clean yourself, and you need to be able to keep a clean home and make sure that your pets are fed and all of the stuff that goes with it. Like, I'm not saying go out and panic and buy everything, because that's not going to help you. You need to be strategic with your planning. You need to be strategic with your buying. And you know what? Maybe you need to build, like, go with your extended family, and you all kind of come together as a community and take care of each other. I mean, so this has been a long video, and it's definitely a stressful thing to talk about, not because I'm scared, not because I'm worried, but because I'm worried about other people not taking it seriously, other people taking it too seriously to the point that they're going to cause mass panic. You know, there needs to be a happy middle. So that's my plan today. I'm going to go to the grocery store. I'm going to get just a few last minute items. And then I borrowed my parents' tiller so I can start tilling up the ground and get my garden started. And that's my goal today. You know, so before everyone panics, do your research on the COVID-19 stuff. Be updated on what's going on. However, do not get sucked into the scared rabbit hole, the mass panic, the obsession with the news. Like, just don't do it. It's not healthy for you. You know, find things to keep you distracted. Work on stuff that's actually going to give you sustainability, stuff that's actually going to make you self-reliant. Do as much of that. You know, something that I learned today, I had no idea. You can actually freeze gallons of milk. Just so you know. I don't know if it tastes that good when you unfreeze it, but it's milk, you know, and maybe you can shake it back up, the cream and stuff. I don't know. It's pasteurized, so I don't know how much cream is actually left in the milk, but I guarantee you shake it back up and it's good enough. So if there's stuff like that, like if you have like little kids in your house that drink milk because they're like 2, maybe buy 3 gallons of milk and freeze 2 of them. Freeze 2.5 of them. And just slowly unfreeze them as you need them. That way you have extra, but you're not going and buying 10 gallons of milk. You know, so just something to think about. And another thing, and I know this is going to sound like a first world problem and I'm going to be complaining, but why does everyone need to buy like 20 boxes of cereal? Are you really going to eat cereal that many times in 2 weeks? I guarantee you 1 box of cereal will last you at least a week and a half. Depending on what type of cereal. I went to buy my cereal and there was none left. And I'm like, I just need 1 box and there's none. So just a mental note for everyone. Please make sure that you're actually buying stuff you need, not just because it's there and you're freaking out. You know, go with a plan, think properly, but most of all, like, do what's best for you and take care of your family and take care of yourself. But that's my goal. That's my plan with this stuff. I'm not going to let the virus change my entire life. I'm not going to let all this stuff freak me out to a point where I can't live my life. So that's my advice to you. You know, take it seriously, but at the same time, you know, you need to find healthy ways of dealing with it. And my healthiest way of dealing with it is to try to stay positive. To try to look at it as this is an opportunity for you to spend time with your friends and family on a very intimate level when you're spending lots of time with them. And to also really think about becoming, at least in some portion, self-sustaining. Whether it's just growing your own vegetables in your garden and you freeze a lot of them, or you cook part of them and then you freeze them, or like whatever. Like there's so many things like that you can do. I know my goal in the next year, and I was doing this anyways, this isn't just a reaction to what's going on. I've been wanting to get into homesteading for a while, and my goal in the next year or 2 is to have fruit trees, nut trees, and fruit bushes planted around my property to where I'm able to actually get the fruit and stuff from them. They're beautiful, so they're aesthetically pleasing for my neighbors because I do live in the city, but they're also products that will actually benefit me. So I can make jams, I can give a lot of fruit away, we can have a lot of fresh fruit, we can do the same thing with nuts, all that kind of stuff to where we're not only getting, we're also giving at the same time. So that's my plans. Hopefully some of this stuff helped you. Hopefully some of it will make you think about things. I know I talk about it more in a podcast that I'm going to be releasing sometime soon. Back from the store, and it's definitely really weird to see shelves with canned goods gone, pasta's empty, there's a limit on the amount of bread you can get, there's a limit on the number of gallons of milk, there's no milk, there's no orange juice, there's hardly any meat left on the shelves. There was a limited selection of cereal and there was like no cereal left. And I actually found my cereal, which I was really excited about. So I got a couple of them just because I didn't know when the next time I would see it. Although I wasn't able to get milk, so what's the point if I can't actually eat my cereal? At least it'll stay good for a while. It's just very surreal how so many staple items are just, they're gone. And a lot of the non-perishable stuff, like frozen vegetables, most of them are gone. Frozen fruits are gone. There's like no pizza except for the crummy pizza that nobody wants. You know, like there's not a high demand for that type of pizza. So I just think it's very weird. I'm trying to deal with it. Like there was no bottled water, none. All like there's no like boxes of bottled, or like packages of bottled water. There's no packs of them. It was just individual. So I had to buy a few Smart Waters just to tide me over. Just stay safe and stay healthy and take care of your families and try not to stress. I know that's really, really hard, but right now is a moment in time that you should really reflect and think, this is an opportunity for me. This is a positive thing. This is putting so many things into perspective for me that I needed this. So be thankful, be grateful. You guys stay safe, stay healthy, take care of your families. But most importantly, be grateful for the opportunity that's happening right now, because this is an opportunity. This is a positive thing that's happening. I know it's scary and it seems daunting, but think about the unlimited amount of time you get with your friends and family right now. That is a positive thing. Think about, you know, the garden that you've always talked about starting, but you've never made time for. Like, you have time to do it now. You know, but most of all, just stay healthy, stay sane, don't be stressed. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. I'd love it if you would leave a comment on how you're feeling with everything that's going on right now. Hopefully some of the stuff I told you today will give you an opportunity to look at it from a different point of view. And I do a podcast video about this as well. So if there's something that you're interested in, you want to go more in depth on how I feel about it, I do a whole, I think it's like a 30-40 minute podcast episode. I would love it if you guys would subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye guys.